Nothing derails game night faster than the "hey, I can't make it" text. It's the boss battle no game master prepares for. No. But what if you could run an amazing session with half your party missing? I know it sounds impossible, but it isn't. If you have a menu of simple, flexible options to save your session. So here are 5 ways to handle missing players and turn them into an opportunity to get creative. One of the easiest and most elegant solutions for missing RPG players is giving the character a believable reason for disappearing. It's like the opposite of plot armor, and I'm not gonna lie, at our RPG table we have a horrible name for this. We call it plot diarrhea. The character is suddenly, violently indisposed for a while. Perhaps the character is genuinely sick. Or even better, maybe they have an urgent side quest tied to their backstory. They receive a summons from home to handle a family crisis. If you play D&D or another system with bonds, ideals, or relationships, use those to justify this sudden detour. The nice thing about this method is it needs 0 prep. Just say they've been called away, and you can figure out the details later. And if your missing player wants to fill out the story, they can do that asynchronously using a play-by-post thread on your campaign's World Anvil discussion board after the session. That means you have time to think about where they're going and why. And it keeps that player engaged in the game and eager to come back, even when they can't attend the main session. And here's the magic. With a bit of clever planning before the next session, you can bring this thread back when they return. PC shows up with new information, a strange item, or an intriguing problem that folds beautifully into your campaign. And if you want something more dramatic, or if you're in the middle of a dungeon, abduct them. Just the character, not the player. This is a fantastic excuse because the other players immediately want to help. It creates urgency, tension, and emotional investment. In other words, a story. But what if a missing player is a recurring problem? Maybe they regularly have to travel for work or stay at home with parenting duties, but they want to be part of the campaign. I mean, you can't keep abducting them. So what about hybrid play? Some players at the table, 1 or 2 joining remotely. It works surprisingly well, especially if you're running multiple sessions like this in a row. Set your players up on a video call, and most of us are pretty comfortable on those these days, and use shared digital tools so everyone can reference the same maps, handouts, and notes. And yes, World Anvil is obviously an incredible tool for this. It keeps your lore, NPCs, maps, monsters, stat blocks all shareable among the whole group. Plus, it means you can reference character sheets and loot even when your players don't show up. Hybrid GMing turns a logistical nightmare into a smooth, everyone's included solution. Thank you, technology. But what do you do when you don't know in advance that a player's going to be missing? In that case, hybrid isn't going to cut it. It's often practical to play the character on autopilot, and it takes the least preparation of all. Sure, Sir Gregor the Paladin is there, but he's lurking in the back. Quiet, like. If there's sheets on World Anvil, you can do basic roles for them. The obvious stuff like attack in a fight, or pick a lock if they're the rogue. Let other players advocate for the missing player too. They can petition for stuff they think he'd do, but you as the GM decide where the boundaries are. It's probably the least narratively satisfying way to handle a missing RPG player, but on a very rare one-off, it can work, as long as the player isn't the face of the party or the main protagonist of this particular questline. Also, I totally recommend everyone makes FOMO posts in the group chat. They'll never miss a session again. And how about rewarding the players that do show up? Think of Appa's Lost Days from Avatar: The Last Airbender. A whole episode filling in backstory that enriches the main narrative. It's a spotlight episode. And you can totally run one for your RPG party. Maybe a flashback episode to when the party first met. Or how about something earlier in their adventuring career? The wizard's first day at Magic University. The fighter's first dungeon. The paladin's initiation trial, or druid circle training memories. This isn't a solo session, so let other players jump into NPC roles, teachers, rivals, mentors, ex-lovers, and rotate the spotlight throughout the evening. If you're not much of an impro GM, you can totally send your players out on a snack run while you figure out your plan. And you can even go one step further and embed clues for the current mission within the flashback. Oh my goodness, I've just remembered there is a way to defeat that giant unstoppable bad thing. That way, you're moving the main story forward at the same time as filling in the character backstories. And these sessions are often some of the most meaningful and memorable your players will ever experience. They'll create new shared lore that binds your party together, and that they'll reference long after the session is over. Your missing players will never want to lose a session again. And finally, if continuing your campaign is truly impossible without the missing players, do not cancel. Cancelled sessions kill campaigns faster than any OP boss battle. Instead, run a really quick one-shot, either in your main setting or a totally different world. And I'll say this without sponsorship, I love Cobalt Press's Prepared series. Tiny adventures, basically plug and play, and no prep needed. But you use whatever you love. Throw your favourite one-shots into the comments, or, if you're a confident GM, just improvise something short and chaotic. Your players don't expect perfection, they'll just be grateful you saved the night. So there you have it. 5 ways to handle missing players without derailing your session or losing momentum in your campaign. But what about when missing players aren't an occasional hiccup, but a constant problem? What if your schedules never line up, and each week you feel like you're scrambling to keep your party together? Well, there's a style of campaign built specifically for that situation. A structure where players can drop in, drop out, and never break the story. It's called a West Marches style campaign, and it might be the magical solution you've been looking for. Click the video on the screen and I'll show you how West Marches works, why it's perfect for unreliable schedules, and how it can transform your group into the most flexible, resilient gaming table you've ever run. Like and subscribe for more world building magic and GN tips. Then grab your hammer and go world build.